have been doing Bikram yoga for about 17 years, and it basically is my life force. If I don't do it, my body just falls apart and my personality changes, and it basically allows me to keep going.
How do you feel about the crisis? I think it's safe to say the crisis of what's happening here in San Diego for people who live on the streets versus the people who live hand to mouth and so on and so forth.
I see it a lot because I live here in Oceanside and I live right near the river valley, so there really isn't a day that goes by when I don't see a person on a bike with a dog carrying a trailer, and it's obvious that they're homeless. There's a chronic amount that live in that river valley, and it's sad. And I think a lot of it is because we have nice weather. Partly, maybe, I don't know. I think it's wonderful what you're doing with feeding them, and this idea of a shower trailer is very innovative, and I love it. I think that anybody that's given a chance, I don't think these people want to be in the condition they're in. I think that obviously, who knows what their story is. Everybody has a story, and if somebody can get a little help and get back on their feet, and then that's wonderful. So I applaud your compassion and your empathy. And
the one thing that I've seen is that many people, not all, but many people who are on the streets are like you and I, where they've just didn't pay the rent or didn't pay their mortgage, and they just fell off the bandwagon, so to speak, and it's a very narrow bandwagon. And one thing leads to another, and I've spoken to so many people, and I find that they did have normal jobs like you and I. They did have rent, they did have car payments, they did have all of that. It's just they got stuck in a rut. And it's that ever-perpetuating situation where any of us can fall into that situation, which is quite scary.
How did you get an interest in this cause?
I think it just boiled down to what you just said. It's that compassion and actually narrowing down on how I really feel about my fellow human beings. That could be my brother, that could be my son, that could be my daughter, that could be my sister. It could happen to me. And when and if it ever happens to me, I hope that there are people out there who would do what I hope Dewara consciousness will and continues to do. Like I said, they're like you and I. They are, and they just got a hard time, and they didn't pay the rent that 1 month, and boom, they were out.
Have you seen people get back on their feet with your help?
Slowly but surely, yes. There are some people. I mean, myself and her is similar. There was a gentleman who wanted a gas card just to get to his workplace. Which was he worked as a gardener, and what happened was he went to a house which was about $1 million worth of house, did the work, couldn't afford to go back there. When he finally did, the owner of that house said, "I'm not paying you." It was like $200-300. So it's people are trying to help themselves up, but it's people who are in a better position who needs to help them as well, just by paying for what they deserve. He worked hard, therefore he needs to get it. So the long answer to your question is yes, people are and are continuing to try to get back up on their feet.
I think that's what's important, is that I think people are inherently good, and I think that gets lost in today's society.
Yes.
But if you narrow down to it, people want to be self-sufficient. People want to, so it's good to remember.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.